Podcasting is an exploding industry. We've discussed it a few times already on this channel. But many people are afraid to bite the bullet and start their own podcast. Why? Because they think that they have to have a lot of money and be tech savvy to start. But that isn't true at all. You don't need a studio and a huge setup to start. Everyone has to start somewhere. I've been podcasting for many years and started with bare minimum. Why can't you? Hi, I'm John Vong, the owner of Local SEO Search. Welcome back to my channel. We're talking about the world of podcasting again. This time, I want to talk all about the tools and equipment that you would need. I've shared some points on this in a previous video, and this time we're going a bit more in depth. This is not for seasoned podcasters. Today, I want to address people who've always thought about starting a podcast but are afraid to take the first step. People who think that it will be an expensive endeavor. So let's get into how you can start on a shoestring budget. Number 1, a recording space. Now, not a tool or equipment per se, but it's important for your podcast. You can start a podcast anywhere, but as a beginner, I think everyone thinks of starting their podcast in the comfort of their homes. Is there a quiet place where you can set up? Quality audio starts with a background noise-free recording spot. Make sure that you also don't have to rearrange your furniture every time you want to podcast. That's just stress in the making. Pick a place that you can dedicate for podcasting alone. If you live alone, that will be easier. If you have a family, pick a place where there isn't a lot of foot traffic. If you need to, you can soundproof it pretty easily and inexpensively with acoustic foam from Amazon. But that isn't always necessary. I recorded mine in my office, which is a small room in my basement. But no one can tell the size of the room on video, especially if you're doing audio only. Number 2, a computer. You probably already have this, so it shouldn't even be a cost. You just have to make sure that your computer can handle the softwares that you need, also known as Digital Audio Workstation, DAW. The software you will be using for editing will have a big say on what computer you can use. You might need one with at least 8 gigs of RAM and multi-core processors. There are also less demanding softwares that are great for those who are just starting out. Number 3, a microphone. This is the most important of all the equipment I'm going to talk about today. Podcasters are all about audio. It's an audio medium, so your audio quality is the most important. There's tons of microphones out there. They range in prices, and you don't need to pick the highest price ones to get the best quality. Sometimes it all depends on what kind of podcast you have. Your computer has a microphone. Your phone has one as well. You can use that if you have no choice. However, I would highly recommend investing in a better quality microphone. Test the audio you have and listen back to it with headphones. If it doesn't sound crisp and clean, it's time to invest. To start off, you can get a USB mic that you can just plug into your computer. It's probably one of the cheapest types you can buy. Great for single host podcasts, interview podcasts, and beginners for that matter, since it's just plug and play. You don't need to do much with this type of microphone. If it's a 2-person podcast, you may need an XLR microphone. This one does not plug into your computer. It needs an audio interface, but you can find one for cheap on Amazon. Let's go over a few of my favorite USB microphones. I'm gonna link all of these in the description, so feel free to check them out. Blue Yeti. If you've done your research, you might have already heard of Blue Yeti. This is a #1 best-selling USB microphone. The regular microphone from your computer captures audio as if you're very far away. It also captures a lot more background noise, which is not ideal. Using this will not only make your voice much clearer and less distant, it removes those sounds as well. These retail for about 170 to 200 Canadian dollars. The Audio-Technica ATR 2100 microphone is what I still use to this day to record podcasts. It offers both USB and XLR capabilities, so it's very versatile and has amazing sound quality for only 145 Canadian dollars. Rode also has great USB microphones as well. They are also one of the more popular brands out there. They have an NT USB Mini and Rode Pod Mic, which has an XLR connector. Both are reasonably priced around 130 Canadian dollars, and they provide great audio quality. I am using a Rode Pro to record audio for this video, and I use it with my Audio-Technica just to make the sound a little bit crisper. The Samsung Go USB mic is just under 50 Canadian dollars. It clips on and directly plugs in your computer. It's super compact, so you can bring it anywhere and store it easily with great audio. Number 4 is a podcast camera. You absolutely do not need this one, to be honest. I do this for mine, and a lot of podcasters do this too. There are people that just can't get into audio. There are some who want to watch instead of listen. So you can give them a chance to do that by recording the video while you're recording and uploading that to YouTube. Think of it as a marketing tactic. You can post a clip of your podcast on video as a teaser with a link to that episode. Free marketing. I'm not going to be too specific on this, but any camera that can record your videos in a great quality will do. Since it's not that high of a priority, concentrate on getting the things for audio first. Number 5, headphones. You'll need headphones during recording and post-production. It is vital that you're able to hear every single thing that's being recorded, so that if there's something that you don't like, you can redo it right away. Hearing yourself properly will also give you a chance to review your pronunciation, and to hear if you're talking too loud or if your voice is too low or muffled. If you're recording with someone else or a guest, it will be important to be able to respond to them properly because you heard them the first time. You don't want to have to ask for another recording session because you weren't able to get everything right the first time. Even if you're just doing this podcast on your own, it's better for you to get headphones to prevent echoes and bleeds. Over-the-ear headphones are the best because they don't have sound leakage that could affect the audio and when editing it. A great tip to remember is that for recording, wired headphones are also better because you get high latency or delays when using wireless ones. Also, test out headphones for comfort before buying. You'll be wearing it for a very long time, so make sure that you are comfortable with it. Audio-Technica ATH M20X are a great choice for closed back headphones that have a design that contours around the ears for excellent sound isolation in loud environments. They retail for about 60 Canadian dollars. Sony MDR 7506 is another industry standard. I've seen many podcasters use these. They are very comfortable and have minimal sound leakage and are also under 100 Canadian dollars. Sennheiser 280 Pro are similar to the Audio-Technica ATH M20X. They have closed back design with excellent sound quality and retail around 130 Canadian dollars. Number 6 is podcast recording software. GarageBand for Mac and Audacity for Windows users are both free. This is recommended for podcasters that are just starting out. There are some big podcasts that use these too, so it's not really about the price. Just pick the type of software that best suits you. If you're not that into tech, then choose these ones because they're not that difficult to navigate, and there are tons of tutorials that you can follow online. You don't need to purchase one right away. Review the cheaper ones, then upgrade as your podcast also grows. Here are some other more common softwares that podcasters use. Pro Tools is dubbed as the standard because it's most commonly used. There's also a free version if you want to try it out first. The features are limited, but it will get you through some episodes. Upgrade to the paid version to get the most out of Pro Tools. Adobe Audition. This one is priced higher than most, but it gets most of what podcasters usually need done. It's also part of the Adobe Creative Cloud, so if you subscribe to that, then you can use this for editing your podcasts. These are good to know for the future, but to start out, stick with the free programs. They work great and keep costs low. To start a podcast, that is all you need. I've specifically listed down the cheaper options and the ones that are easier to use so you won't be intimidated and stop in the middle of the process. You can start a podcast for as little as 100 to 300 Canadian dollars. So don't let that hold you back anymore. Remember that anyone can start a podcast and you don't need to buy all of the things that I've mentioned. Work with what you've got and just get started. Let me know in the comments below if you have a podcast and what topics you cover. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and let's grow together.